Hello, theme park fans, and welcome to a special emergency podcast edition of the E-Ticket Report. I'm Ryan Barr, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Tommy Hawkins.
Hey everyone. We're reporting on UK theme park news, but we're not sitting in a field in a high-vis jacket. We're just at home, comfortable, and it's fine. Let's
Yeah,
go with this.
we don't need to fly dangerous equipment over open
E-
fields to
Empty,
enjoy.
empty fields at the moment, but that soon can change, as we know. So, what's the
The
news, Ryan?
announcement in
What?
we're referencing Universal Studios Great Britain is happening. We released a podcast about a year ago talking about it, rumors, and since then it's just been going through, what would you say, like the legalities of and trying to get approvals for everything.
Um, Officially, yes. Unofficially, um, if you do, I don't know if anyone remembers, but with the when they started the Epic Universe process, um, there was a whole back and forth with the county about donating land and tax breaks and subsidies and all stuff like that. I.e., if we give you this land, um, will you build this road for us? That kind of horse trading stuff going on. As far as I'm aware, that's essentially what the Comcast or and NBCU have been doing with the UK government. We do know that they were talking to the previous government before they lost their um, their seats way back in May last year. So the conversations have been going on for quite a while. Obviously, from a government point of view, any government is going to go, you want to spend $6 billion and create 28,000 jobs? Yeah, sure. How can we do that? And they've obviously gone out of their way to make sure that happens. I do know that the government are trying to streamline the planning process for lots of big projects. They just okayed a couple of airport expansions within the past few weeks. So their big initiative is growth. Unlike some governments, which the initiatives are self-destruction, right, Ryan? Do you know anything
Um,
about?
huh. I don't know. All I see is dollar signs. Anyway,
um, anyway, yes. So, but let's just take everyone back to December. I nearly said 2018. That's too far back. That's like Epic Universe far back. December 2023, and Theme Park Stop dropped this video. The video was saying Universal looked like they're going to be building a theme park in the UK. So we got wind that they were possibly building a theme park in the UK. My first thought, when we was talking about it privately, myself, Scott, Walker, and Alicia I was like, I bet you it's somewhere in between London and Birmingham. When yourself and I and Chris was on the show, he pretty much guessed it. Do you remember? He said like,
yeah, he
"Oh,
said within
it's
a
like
20-mile radius.
Yeah, he said like Milton Keynes or something like that." And I'm like laughing because I knew where it was. I knew where it was because we'd guessed it. Because on this YouTube video we spent about 3 months. We went through the list of the failed London resort, what everyone kept referring to as the UK Disneyland. We went through the list, the target sites of potential places that would have been viable to build a theme park, and Kempston Hardwick, where they're building this one, was on that list. And we did basically a bunch of forensic accounting and went to like company's house and found holding companies, shell companies, and kind of figured out that Universal bought this land. So we dropped this video like 18th of December. We just thought, oh, it might be a bit exciting for some people in the theme park community. but it went crazy. We had the local Bedford independent newspaper um, speaking to us, and then they reached out to Universal. And what would you expect the Universal to say, considering they're not like Disney? What would be, Ryan, what would you expect them to do in that situation? What would you think we thought they would do?
Universal themselves.
Yeah, when like a local newspaper reaches out to them and said, "Hey, have you bought some land in Bedford?" What would you expect them to say? Like,
They would probably shoot the rumors down or say no comment until we talk to our lawyers.
yeah, but instead of them doing that, they turned around and said, "Yeah, yeah, we've bought the land. We might build a theme park. We're not sure. Come back and ask us in a few months," kind of vibe. And then it blew up. All of like it was on like all of the BBC News, Sky News, loads of news networks. I think it even got picked up on American networks and started talking about the fact that Universal might be building this theme park in the UK.
That's pretty beautiful. Like, Universal basically just manifested this for themselves. I mean, this is what Disney used to be, if I'm being honest. Uh,
It's so like sneaking. It's so out of character of them to just come out with it. I do think we forced their hand. I do think that actually they were getting very, very, very close to starting their consultation period, which they in the old UK planning law they needed to do. Like it's quite a long-winded process. You have to basically say, "Hey, guys, we're thinking about building this in your area. Has anyone got any major objections?" So if they were a couple of months away from probably starting that process anyway, and we did force their hand, but that's what they did. You know, they went to the local community and said, "Hey, we're building this theme park. We think it's gonna create X billion pounds for the economy. We believe it'll create 28,000 jobs, etc., etc." And the vast majority of the local community, like something like 94%, went, "Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. Please do it." So they had pretty much no objections in the first stage of the consultation. So then, obviously, like I said, they've been arguing back and forth. I do know the numbers. I'm not going to say what the numbers are, but I do know what number Disney Disney, Universal wanted as a subsidy. Who knows whether they've got it or not? But the park's going to take 5 years to be built. So even if they get that subsidy over the course of 5 years, as far as I'm concerned, it's fantastic taxpayer money because, like I said, they're going to create 28,000 jobs. They can completely transform the economy.
hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
Disney did for Orlando or for Central Florida in the 70s, like this is what's going to happen to that area. Like,
Yeah, and yeah, because it's not just gonna be Universal coming in, every other company's gonna start grabbing land.
yeah, they're going to grab land. You're going to get hotel chains, like hopefully some, the UK. The UK's got some fairly good hotels. It's got some pretty reasonable, like budget hotels. Clearly, everyone's going to want to build a hotel within a certain amount of distance. People are going to be buying up uh, houses in the area for Airbnb and stuff like that. It's gonna go absolutely insane for that area. And it is kind of in the middle of it's not in the middle of nowhere, right? So if you've got the picture on
Mhm.
the screen, right, like the park is sandwiched between two railway lines that head back down straight down to London. You've
Right.
got like a major highway very close to a major motorway, the M1, and then it's pretty easy to get to. I can't remember the exact numbers, but there are literally within sort of a 50-mile radius of this park, there's like 40 million people or something living. It's insane how many people live close to this area. So when it opens, they think they're going to get 8.5 million visitors. um, per year, which
That's a
averages
lot.
off. It averages about 26,000 a day. So currently, we believe Epic Universe are aiming to get between 25 and 30,000 visitors in the park per day at the moment. That's what we
For
believe.
2025 this year?
Yeah, for right now, that's what we
Okay.
currently believe. Um, I just Googled it. Um, Disneyland Paris in 2023 saw an average 28,500 visitors per day. So if we run the math on that one, 28, 5, oh God, 500 times 365, 10 and a
Yeah.
half, 10.4 million visitors a year. Okay. I
Okay.
do believe Universal think that they can get their numbers close to that by year five. Maybe not quite as much as that, but close to that.
Yeah, that would
So
be reachable, and I would say very possible with the reality that Disney is not spending any money in Paris at all.
yeah. So there's been a lots of discussion, isn't there, about how the usual conversation. Lots of people talking in hyperbole about Epic Universe. Oh, Epic Universe is a Disney killer. Epic Universe is a Disney World killer. We know that the answer is no to that one. We know that Disney World is a juggernaut. We do also know that that park will steal a fair amount of market share. We had this conversation on the last show about it. But Disney's in no danger of Epic Universe like killing it, all right? However, I say this as someone that has not been to Disneyland Paris since 2015 because it's so damn expensive to visit. And when you get there, there's not a lot there. Like, and there's currently less rides there than what there was when I visited in 2015.
Jeez,
So,
that's sad. And they've tried, I don't know. They've only closed stuff, yeah.
yeah.
They
And
closed the studio tour. The studios park is an absolute disaster. I can't believe anyone would pay to get into that place.
in the same, no, longer than the time they've spent building Epic Universe, they still haven't finished
That's Frozen Land.
the Frozen Land, which is
A clone of the
Frozen Ever After
Maelstrom.
clone with rock work on top and a concrete lagoon that's about the same size, if not slightly smaller than the Epic Universe
They got
fountain.
like 3 people building this land. It's insane.
It
That is an
it
insane amount of time. Like, you've seen Universal build an entire theme park.
Yeah,
You
literally
can't
in the
build
same
a
time. I've tweeted like photos comparison of like like Epic was going from dirt patch to fully built roller coaster in the
Japan had
same.
like a 3-year head they had a 3-year head start on Japan, and they finished Fantasy Springs first. And that's 10 like 3, 4 times bigger.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, he's married. He's got two little girls. He was telling me, "Oh yeah, we booked to go to Disneyland Paris." Um, I can't remember how many nights they're staying, 3 or 4 nights. They like bear in mind that it's reasonably easy to get from England to France to Paris. It's really not that big a deal. Like I'm sure you Americans do much longer drives, no problem.
Yeah.
Um, he said to me it's cost them something like £4,000 or £5,000 to stay at Disneyland Paris and the tickets for the park. That's insane.
For how
That's
long? Like a month?
oh no, for like 3 or 4 nights.
That are they staying at the hotel in the on Main Street?
They're
Jesus.
possibly staying on the one that's at the park entrance, but it's a lot of money even if you don't stay at that one. And
Yeah.
the food is the equivalent to the Disney food, cruise ships. It's not great food in the parks either. So, like I went there, like I said, went 10 years ago with my ex, and we stayed at a Radisson Blue, and the restaurant was great. So we was lucky with the food there. but it's quite far away from the park. You had to get a shuttle bus and stuff like that, and it's just miserable. Like you do the main park, and then the Studios park takes you like 2 hours most. Like it's just miserable.
Hmm.
And as you know, like I'm obviously a massive Europa Park stan. I'm like shipping for that park all of the time. To me, there's a few really great parks in Europe that are so much better than Disneyland Paris that I would make the effort to travel to. However, this park is just over an hour from where I live. So there's a good chance I might even end up working there. You never know, you know? So it's so accessible for so many people that they just won't bother doing that Disneyland Paris trip because,
Yeah, why bother? And if it costs almost the same to go across the pond to Florida, then that's way better.
yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Like, so I don't know if you're a big Disney and Universal theme parks fan, and then you're given the choice, right? You want to go to Florida, but you would quite like to go to Disneyland Paris, but you've got a Universal Park that hasn't got the same rides. It's got completely different rides to Orlando, and it's going to be far cheaper. What are you going to do? It's pretty obvious. You're just going to not bother going to Disneyland Paris. You might go once every 3 or 4 years if you feel like it, because what's the point?
Right. And
So
they make
yeah,
it so difficult to get there.
so for me, this park is a Disneyland Paris killer. And if we've known about it for a year and a half, we know people in our industry talk to each other. If we've known it for a year and a half, how long have Disney known about it?
Right.
2 years maybe? Probably from the minute they started, from when
Buying
Universal
land.
started buying land, because people talk, right? Off the record, people talk. They're going to say to each other, hey, just so you know we're going to be buying this land and we're going to build in UK. There
And
was rumors
it's
floating around. It was either going to be, I think it was either um, Korea or UK, maybe somewhere on mainland Europe, and then like UK won it. And contrary to a lot of people's opinions, I don't think Port Ventura was ever a serious prospect
what
because
about just having the Saudis build it for them? Because they got all the money in the world.
they don't own it. And also,
Yeah.
I do believe, like from what I heard, obviously the Beijing, it was a joint venture partnership, wasn't it? Like they got their fingers burnt with the joint venture
Oh,
in Beijing. Like it was not a great experience for them.
no.
So I suspect they're like, we've got the money, we've got full creative control, we can do what we want when we want. Let's just do it ourselves.
Yeah, that's the best way to earn the most money too. Um, so yeah, just overlaying different theme parks that would fit on the land, looking at the Universal Beijing Park, the layout of the Beijing Park compared to the layout of the concept art we saw released today, very similar. And
Lots
the
of
hotel
similarities.
especially. I like the hotel, the orientation of it. It's different. It's
Yeah, so on the Beijing Park, it's at the front of the park, and you walk on, you walk through it, like you walk through Main Street Station at Magic Kingdom, but a hotel there. You walk through. On this one, they've turned it around 90 degrees to face the train station and one of the train lines. I don't know why they've done it like that, but I guess they want
well,
the
no,
hotel.
in Beijing, the hotel is oriented the same. It's just they have a different entrance. Like the hotel is not the entrance. If if you look at the overhead, it's the hotel in reference to the park entrance is laid out the same way as it is in the concept art. It's just they put like a roof over the main street of Universal Beijing, so I don't know. But regardless, the concept art looks pretty cool. A lot of people have guesses as to what IPs are being showcased in this park. I think safe bets, Jurassic World, Minions, and then a clear replica of the Waterworld stunt show.
I am gonna say that I don't believe Jurassic World is in that artwork.
Okay. It
Um,
looks like it, but it could be anything, yeah. Um that that
Jurassic
across
World,
from
the what's it called? Not the Discovery Center, the new one for Jurassic World. What's that called? I can't remember it. The really cool looking pyramid shaped.
Innovation Center or something.
Yeah, so that is like the weenie in Beijing. Like
Right.
if you walk into the park, you walk through the entrance. The weenie is the is the innovation center, the pointed thing, and then you've also got the aviary. Now, neither of those things are in the artwork.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. It looks strangely familiar to me, but I can't place it
It looks
because it's
like
like
the Hall of
rocks
Justice.
and there's like a kind of a round, like almost like
A globe.
a globe, like a I don't know what you call it, like a planet. So for me, I'm almost certain that it's Jurassic World. It's not Jurassic World. World may have been in the plans and then got removed. But
Yeah.
then you never know. Like if you show the fly-through video, you'll see there's three very, very, very large expansion plots of about between 13 and 15 acres each. So it could be that we do still get Jurassic World. It's not that it's not happening, but it's not in this artwork. But left hand corner, um, a lot of people are saying it's Back to the Future, the courthouse, and that
Yes. It
that
looks
that is a
just like Hill Valley. Yeah. That front area.
so.
And then
I think I've said it on the show before. I'm sure I've said it that Back to the Future is still really popular in the UK. Like I people my age and even younger, they still sell a lot of Back to the Future merch. Like the Lego Back to the Future DeLorean, that still sells, right? There was um, the Back to the Future musical started in just before the pandemic. Because I remember Chris and his wife was in London. We met for a drink before they went to see it. So that's been really popular. That's had a really long run at the theatres. I think it's toured and everything. So it's still a really popular IP. So putting Back to the Future in UK is a really good shout, in my opinion. Like 100%.
yeah.
And the fact that it seems to be a double spike launch coaster is wild. I don't know what they're going to do with this. Maybe they'll use the Fast and
Fast,
Furious
yeah, from Hollywood
um,
because I
ride
would think
system.
if you're gonna build a Back to the Future ride, you're gonna have to ride in the DeLorean.
Yeah. So then if you're on the DeLorean, then you can just convert them all to. I just think it's a really nice way to like um, honor that movie with a really cool thrill ride, and like a lot of people are gonna absolutely love it.
Right.
So um, I think they believe what seems to be like a mini land, Paddington, and there is a space behind that that looks very much like, and it's not one of them where concept art makes the area look massive, but it's not. Like I've done a 2D um, layout, and that's there's a lot of space around that. So maybe they've got other ideas to put something bigger behind, and they just haven't drawn it out. I get the feeling that they just haven't quite finished deciding on what they want to put in. So they've left a lot of gaps, but they've made it still look impressive enough that people can get excited about it. And
Yeah.
you've obviously got the illuminations, like that's exactly like Beijing. So the Super Silly Land, which is kind of like Dino Land with a roof. It's got like a prop roller coaster on the roof that's not a real roller coaster, and then inside it's got a little kids roller coaster, a little spinner, a bit like Triceratops spin, and a few other bits. And it is basically Dino Land with a roof. But then you've got the Sing show, and I think there's another stage show in that area. I can't remember exactly what,
Huh.
but there's lots of different stuff in that area.
Got it.
So
So it's not just minions, it's all illumination, pretty much.
yeah. So it's the Sing. I can't remember what the show is, Sing, but they've like
Seeing on
recreate
tour or something.
I think they've recreated the theater from the Sing movie. I love Sing. Sing's
Yeah.
like one of my
I've
favorite
I've
like
seen
animated movies.
video I've seen video of the show from Beijing. It's pretty awesome.
And then a little bit further up, people are speculating it might be Shrek. I don't know. I did think that.
It's pretty
It's
much
got,
just green and gray.
but it's got that oldie timey like English oldie timey kind of village vibe.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's got quite a large e-ticket building behind.
Zooming in on this, it looks like they just photoshopped a bunch of bushes in front of everything they drew.
Yeah, but are they trying to hide stuff, or do they not have something to put there, or do they
Who
just not have the
knows?
ideas? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think because we're like 6 years away from the park opening, right? So if you think 6 years ago, the ideas that were being formed, like 2019, like Ministry of Magic went through like four changes or something crazy before they settled on a ride system. They cut things from it. There was a broomstick thing, and then they got rid of that, and then like it's gonna go through a few changes, but I do think like the actual like the master plan of the site is fixed. They know the layout, they know things like that, but then they've got these massive chunks that they can put more stuff in.
Yeah.
Like put um so yeah, the obviously yeah, the Waterworld stage show, if it's Waterworld or is it something else? People are speculating it might be Bond.
Right. A lot of Bond speak. Bond would be very cool. It would absolutely put the nail in the coffin of the Jason Bourne franchise, which sucks. But um, I guess Matt Damon's not coming back for that anytime soon anyway.
Yeah, but
Um,
the idea is to keep Orlando separate from the UK because, 1 million people fly to Orlando every year. So you don't want to like cannibalize that audience
oh
by
yeah,
just replicating. So
and
for
Bond is
me,
very popular in the
yeah,
UK.
or World, like I'm probably not going to get on a plane and fly to the West Coast, even being a big theme park geek. Like it's unlikely. So if it was World, I wouldn't be sad. Like if it's anything from the Beijing park or the Singapore park, I wouldn't be sad. It would be nice it's something new and different, exciting, but
Yeah.
anything that is not readily available to you, you're going to enjoy, right?
I
Um,
think as of like February, Amazon now owns the James Bond franchise and its completeness, so they might be more open to licensing that to Universal than MGM was in the past.
100% because they're going to see the 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 dollar signs, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
There's a
Amazon
lot of
isn't building any theme parks themselves, so might as well.
no, so license it out, make some money from it, like passive income, etc., etc. So we've got this crazy green coaster, which I know is kind of meant to basically be Stardust Racers for this park. I don't know what it is. It's crazy. I've got a rough layout that I think it is. I might be wrong. To be honest, parts of it almost look like it's been created in AI, but I think that's more to confuse people rather than to be lazy and like not. I think they've got a design. I think they know exactly what that design is. I just think they're kind of
I
trying not
mean,
to give too much away.
the part where it stretches over the water, it doesn't even look like there's any uh launches, and it's supposed to, free float from point A to point B, go all the way around the water and come back. The thing's gonna be
Hu-
going like 120 to reach.
it's got to have some launchers in there somewhere. It's got to have some launchers. It can't. It's got quite a high, like a half helix before it looks like it goes back into the brake run of the station. It's got like something's not right, and it looks like from the what looks like the lift hill, and then it's got a really top tight drop
Hmm.
twisting around, like almost does free, like drops, does like a 90-degree turn, and
Yeah.
then does a helix round and then into something else. It's wild. Whatever it is absolutely wild. So it's going to be super interesting, and it's going to definitely um, have a lot of people at Merlin worried. Shall we say that?
I like the idea of putting the fake coaster on the Minion land because it makes the park look like it has more coasters to normal people.
Well, it's got a coaster there. It's just not the one on the roof.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
So
yeah. You get disappointed once you get on it.
I'll be honest, right? So whatever that building is, and it's not Jurassic World, and I'm gonna do a bit more analysis of it. It's not Jurassic
It's
World, but
huge, but it is the size of the
I
Jurassic World ride, isn't it?
um,
From Beijing. It's
it's
a big show
it's
building.
not the same shape because I again intimately know that I haven't compared it yet.
Yeah, that one
It's
stretches
big.
further back.
In fact, I can probably tell you while we're talking. I can tell you roughly the size of the main large big building.
Well, I have the overhead you sent of that too. Yeah, it is the one they show looks like it is the size of the Kung Fu Panda
Okay,
and
the main show building, not with the extra like tapered bit at the front. Look, I think we're to assume that the tapered bit at the front is like queue and stuff like that, queue and station. But the main
yeah.
large show building is 50,000 square feet, so that's quite a bit. And the overall building size is, hold on, let's have a look. Oh, you're being weird. So I can't remember off the top of my head what Jurassic World is. I've got it somewhere. I can look it up in a tweet,
Yeah.
but I did work that out. Um, but it's a different shape build, and
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
they would want to build another Transformers Spider-Man scoop ride anyway. I think it would be overplayed
well,
for
this
that
is
demographic.
65,000 square feet. It's probably about 70,000 square feet in total. So it's quite big. That's
Yeah, it's
quite,
huge.
yeah,
It's going to be their Rise of the Resistance for sure.
75,000 square feet. That's a lot. I would like another, I'd like a really cool uh, inside roller coaster. Because it's
Oh,
all well and good having these really cool outside roller coasters, but if I'm going in March, it's not much fun. I just went to Fort Park, my local theme park, and I had a miserable day because the weather was bad. There's just nothing there. It's got no cool rides. The new ride Hyperion is terrible. Like,
yeah.
like you need a really cool inside coaster. I think, like the
That would be
Mummy on
yeah,
steroids.
exactly.
That's what I want. The Mummy on steroids. Something that's like the natural successor to the Mummy.
That is what Gringotts was supposed to be.
But yeah, like looking at this plan, knowing what I know, one, two, three. Yeah, it's only really got three reasonably sized e-ticket show buildings at the moment. I think they've got more they need to add. I really do. I don't think they're there with it. I think they've dropped the artwork because they needed to show something, but I
Yeah,
don't think they're finished. I don't think they're even
they're a
close to
ways. Yeah, I mean if
at
they're
least one more land. If you got one more land, then you've got one more e-ticket. So then that brings you up to one, two, three, four e-tickets and some D tickets and some C ticket stuff. Yeah, they've got a long way to go before they're there. But
so go ahead.
I was going to say, like, how long did we have to wait before we got actual like concept art for that was reasonably close to. When did we get the concept art for Epic Universe?
before the pandemic.
Bear in mind, yeah, like 2019. Bear in mind that they was aiming to open that park for 2023, so we're now just under 2 years delayed from what they wanted to open.
Yeah. It might have been
So
around the time Hagrid's opened even.
yeah, so let's say it's 4 years out was when we actually got some artwork for Epic Universe. 4 years from when the park was meant to open. So we're like 5 years out. So we're already quite a ways ahead. And what you'll notice with the UK planning, it's very different from Florida. Like they can't necessarily be really sneaky and
Yeah.
keep stuff back.
You can't,
That
yeah, and you can't do the same practices Disney does in the United States. You can't take your time, build something with one crew, pay them a year later. Like it's got to get done.
yeah, once you've got the workers on site, you've got to go. And that's what Universal are pretty good at doing, right? Once they they crew up the site to start the build, they're good to go. And also, for a lot of the people, they've just come off of Epic Universe, and yet we do know that they need to do some more expansion stuff for that. So that it's not like everyone's gonna go, but they
So,
will be advertising for people to make the move to the UK for the next
oh
six
yeah.
years.
Damn. That's going to be forever. But you say 6 years, so 2031 is when we're thinking, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like initially, it was we were saying for a while 2030. That's what we understood it to be. But the difference between the end of 2030 and the start of 2031 is minimal. So they would probably want to get it open for Easter 2031,
Right.
which falls. It's a bit different to your spring breaks, right? So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
around March, April. Like it's Easter now for the UK schools, but it could be late March. So I would expect them probably to go for that rather than waiting out for. You obviously, like in the States, love to open rides and theme parks around Memorial Day, don't you? But like we just don't care. We like get it
Yep.
open. If it's
It
cold, I'll wear a coat. Like vibes.
right. For sure. Anything else you want to add? We're coming up on time here.
I've got nothing right now. It's just it's just a very exciting time. Or just can we just talk about the ballsy move to do this, right? Like they've not even opened this new park and they've just gone, yep, we're starting a new one.
Yeah.
Like
And not even this is a second new one in addition to the kids resort they already announced and HHN Unleashed. They're all out.
yeah. And like obviously there is general economic concerns and all the rest of it at the moment, which we don't need to talk about,
Oh, it'll be fine. Yeah, the stocks went back up today.
but this company know that if you build stuff, people come to it, right? So what do? They build stuff. So it
Yep.
just makes you
It's a
think like
simple
what
strategy. I mean, if Disney lived by the same words they lived by even 15 years ago, they would be probably in a better place. But they just completely forgot how to run. So Universal's just going to keep growing and keep learning new ways on how to innovate. And Disney's just
I
going to
guess
keep
oh
doing the
this
same thing.
yeah, and I guess really in the UK just for anyone that doesn't know the UK market is you have lots of competition. Whether it's of the same quality or not is another question. So SeaWorld is possibly not the same quality as Disney or Universal, but a lot of people still go to SeaWorld, right? In the UK, essentially Merlin, who own like Legoland and um, Sea Life Centers and stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with that, like
Yep.
stuff like that. Um, they have a monopoly on most of the biggest parks in the UK.
Attractions. Yeah.
So Fort Park is the
If
nearest one to this. Chessington is a smaller one, bit more kids orientated.
if you look
Legoland.
at the worldwide theme park attendance by company, Universal's actually fourth, and I believe Merlin is second or third. Might be third. So this opening this new park could push them ahead of Merlin on that list, closer to Disney, who was number one, of course.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna regulate is regulate. I can't talk. Sorry, relegate parks like Fort Park to. It's gonna turn that into like the SeaWorld, the regional one. Yeah, people still go to it. Like teenagers will still go to it, probably because it's cheaper to go to than Universal. But there's still gonna be some allegiance, and like
Is
there's
there still a SeaWorld in London?
it's the Sea Life Centre. Yeah, all these like there's the Shrek experience and stuff like that. Like there's all these kind of bits and bobs that are in dotted around like the London Eye, the big Ferris wheel in central London. That's a Merlin.
But they did
Um,
have a SeaWorld London, right?
Not SeaWorld, Sea Life Centre. It's just like
Oh,
an
I thought they
aquarium.
had a
It's more
SeaWorld.
no, not SeaWorld, no.
Hmm.
But
Like
there was one I think
indoors.
somewhere in you're thinking of somewhere in Spain, I think, or the Canary Islands. That
Oh.
was like a SeaWorld.
But it was like indoors. It was like a indoor aquarium.
Oh yeah, it's an indoor aquarium. Sea Life Centre. Like yeah, Sea Life Centre. They've got one of them at Icon Park
Yeah, Sea
on the
Life.
strip.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, like Alton Towers is quite far away. It's too far for me to travel. It's filled with half-built prototype roller coasters. It's not a place I would rush to go to. This place is going to be an hour away from me. Fort Park is just over an hour away to get to, but I just don't want to go there. Every time I go there, it's miserable. Like it's the same part. It's the same. Some of the rides that are there are the same rides that I was riding when I was 6 years old,
Hmm. Yeah.
and I'm a lot older than that now.
Well, same for me
And
with Magic Kingdom.
yeah, but like, it's just not the same. It's
No.
just not the same.
No.
It's just depressing, you know? It's just depressing because you're just like, come on. Like, they just opened a new ride, which is not great. They cheaped out on it. They were supposed to build a B&M hypercoaster and they built this cut price Mac that's really tall, but just not a fun ride. I hated every second of being on that ride. And I'm a Mac convert, as you know, and that's the first proper roller coaster they built in like 12 years. So they just don't build anything. They don't invest money. So they're on notice. They've got 5 years. They're gonna have to build more or lose market share. Simple as that. So
Right.
let's see what they do, you know?
Yeah. Well, think we covered everything for this emergency
Yeah.
podcast. Went a little longer than we wanted, but um yeah, maybe
It's
next
exciting.
time Chris will find the time to care about theme parks a little bit. Notice on the last show he was just playing video games all the time. You can go back and watch. Anyway,
Really, really. Video
that's
games and cruises, that's all he cares about. So that's why he's
baseball.
got my new nickname from him is Dr. Odyssey, because he is my Dr. Odyssey.
Yeah, you can't even come around when some of the biggest news in theme park history drops. What a
This is like
Don't
is
listen to
this
Chris
like
Wakefield.
yeah, but he'll be over. He'll be asking me, "Oh, where's a good place to stay, Tommy? I want to come." Well, as soon as the park opens, he'll be here.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah. Oh,
wasn't
for
there on the
sure.
beginning. Just remember, guys, who was here, who brought the
He did
breaking news.
he did guess pretty much on spot where the location of it was going to be, just guessing, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very impressive. All
So
right,
that'll
that's
do
about
it.
it.
Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter at eTicket Report. I am at Imagineer6. Tommy, where can we find you?
At Tommy Hawkins, probably on everything, including Blue Sky. Just don't ever go on there.
Yeah, I try to
I
get
don't
on
know.
there more. We are on Blue Sky now, eTicket Report. If you're on there, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna be at Epic Universe in two, what is it? 3 days. If you're listening to this, 2 days from now. So look out on our social media for content from inside the park. Can't believe it. But yeah,
I'm excited for you, but also quite bitter that I'm not going. So it's like a
I'm
combination of
more
ex
anxious and nervous about this trip than I am excited. I can't even. Once I'm there, though, it'll be fine.
I just
It's just
really
a
hope
lot.
they've got that op sorted for you, so you just like you're not waiting for ages.
Yeah. I'm also going to be at Walt Disney World Friday and Sunday. Sorry, Universal. But
I thought you was Universal Shield. They'll
yeah,
take your
well,
Shield card away from you.
no. On Twitter, they
Epcot
call me a
Shield.
Disney shill. I can't. Both sides call me shills. Anyway.
Apparently, I'm a dumbass Shield that shills the sight lines or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Those sky-colored buildings that most people don't see. But that's a
Yeah.
conversation
Who
for the next
cares?
recording. But
At least they painted it. Disney just keeps it one color. Anyway.
fun fact, well, it's just little anecdote for you. I've probably said it before. I'm just repeating myself, but I didn't even notice the soaring buildings for the first 2 or 3 trips that I went to Epcot. I
Yeah.
just didn't notice them.
They're really hidden from Future World. You have to go to World Showcase to see them.
But when you see them, you can't unsee them. But that's the thing. All these nerds are going around looking for these things, and then you can't unsee the things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
But if you were just busy enjoying your day, you're probably not going to see this stuff anyway. But
Right.
there
It
you go.
doesn't stick out that much.
That's my
Anyway,
hot take.
thanks for listening. We'll see you hopefully in a week or two when I come back from Florida.
Take care, everyone.
See ya.